Greetings. I just wanted to take a moment to talk a little bit about my experience traveling solo with a 2-year-old. This is the third trip abroad we've taken. The first one was when she was a year old to Morocco. The second one when she was 20 months old. It was a longer trip with some friends to Spain and Portugal. And this one, again, just me and her. And we're in Portugal right now. So I just wanted to share the realities of it. Those who follow me on Instagram will see that it's vibes. It is, for the most part. And I have a lot of people responding to these stories like, yeah, it looks like you're having a great time. Looks so lovely out there. It is really lovely. We are having a great time, but there is also a lot of stress involved. There is so much stress leading up to the trip, getting everything organised, and then trying to do so alongside tending to a 2-year-old. Who has just reached, she's like, over the past maybe like 2 weeks, we've really got into the testing twos phase where she's really asserting her autonomy and her independence, which I've always tried to encourage. But yeah, we're at the stage now where I'm experiencing the more challenging side of that. And it's added to with everything that comes with taking a holiday naturally, making sure that we have everything that we need, getting places on time, and once we arrive, making sure we have everything that we need, going to the shop. We do self-catering, so getting to the shop and getting stocked up. But yeah, she's really just wanting to talk to every single ant that she sees, kick every single stone, look at every single plant and flower and leaf, which is great. Obviously she's learning a lot, and this is a new environment for her, so of course she's going to be excited. And it's just really pinpointed the work that I need to do on myself, in terms of my patience. Like, I'm naturally quite an impatient person anyway, and I'm recognising that most of my stress comes from being impatient and wanting to fulfil my ideals. For example, go to the beach and watch the sunset, or go to get some ice cream. So this morning was very intense. I dragged myself out of bed early so I could have a couple of hours to myself, to journal and do some yoga practice. And 2 minutes after I got up, she's up. And she's only had at this point, well, not enough sleep, probably about 9 hours. Whereas, I've tried to, in an ideal world, she has 10. But no, she was up and would not let me do anything, really. And I try and involve her in my yoga practice, try and involve her in, when I'm journaling, I try and encourage her to draw or whatever, but she just wasn't having any of it today. And I'm like, no, this is what I'm doing. This is what I need. This is good for me, so it's good for you, so I'm doing it. And the striving to do that took away from the peace that I was hoping to gain from it, and from the grounding and the regulation that I was hoping to gain from it. So I'm just constantly being reminded to let go of my ideals, but then at the same time I'm questioning, like, isn't that what life is? you know, working towards creating the life that you want and being responsible for doing the things that you need to do. And it's like when you become a parent, of course, there's compromise and there's sacrifice naturally. But at this point, being a single parent, I do less than the bare minimum when it comes to self-care. You know, my daily routine, everything that I do revolves around her. You know, when you're practicing intentional parenting, like my life revolves around her. Like I'm not trying to just fit her in to, you know, my routine. Like I fit my stuff into her routine. But it feels very out of balance at the moment because there's certain stuff that I've sacrificed my practice pretty much completely, my yoga practice, my meditation practice pretty much completely. Since giving birth, like I do what I can when I can, which is not really not that much, not as much as I need anyway. So I got to a point now where I'm like, no, I need to get back on that because I've really been struggling to stay regulated. During this really testing phase, like my impatience is at an all-time high, and I'm feeling so much like anger and frustration and she's experiencing that as well. And when you've been brought up in a very critical environment and neglectful environment, and you know, when you're really doing the work on yourself and finding the words for, you know, your experience, your life experience, you know, in particular your attachment styles, like I learned that I have an anxious avoidant attachment style, and success to me is raising a secure child. But then when I'm in this phase at the moment, where I have to take my space, like sometimes when I feel dysregulated, I just need to go and sit in a room on my own, or I have to ask her to give me some space. But then when I'm regulated and things are good between us, like our connection is so strong, and that is essentially how you create anxious avoidant children, is that pulling away and pulling in and pushing away. So there's that all at play constantly. Also feeling like I feel like my mum and I really don't want to, you know, behave like my mum has behaved. So there's so many layers to it. There's all the guilt that comes with it. There's the frustration. There is the gratitude, because there's so much learning and growth coming from here once I kind of learn how to navigate it and get back into flow with her, and learn to give myself grace, because raising a child it's not for the faint-hearted, and then doing everything alone even more so. So yeah, just learning to have patience with myself and have patience for this transition. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm so grateful to be here, and no matter how much stress and anxiety preparing to travel brings, I'm glad that I've been able to recognise the need for change, the need for a break, and be able to fulfil that need, and for all the circumstances that brought me here. And I'm grateful for the self-awareness to not get too consumed in the challenge, my brain is very negatively geared, which I'm working to kind of undo. But again, when you're brought up in a critical environment, then it's natural to have. It's going to take some time to unlearn all of that. So the first time we travel, actually no, I said to myself when I was kind of like thinking to myself what I want to say in this video, I was like, start with the positives, Kaya. Here I am, not touching the positives other than the gratitude. So when in those moments of tranquility and I'm not trying to get anywhere at a particular time and I can go at her pace, it's really beautiful, you know, just witnessing her, witnessing the world and being curious about the world. And that was, you know, when she reached maybe about 4 months old, and she, obviously her vision had expanded, and that's when I really started to notice her curiosity, her expressing her curiosity, you know, just on our walks to the park and whatnot. And it really helped me connect with my inner child and come back to the fundamentals of my meditation practice, which is experiencing the world as if you've never experienced it before. And she really helped me get back to that, which, you know, going through what I went through during pregnancy and, you know, in her early life and just life generally, I was completely out of touch with that, just in survival. And again, I lost it. I lost it just managing, just surviving, just trying to do life as a single parent. So yeah, when we're just kind of wandering around together and I can watch her just in that curiosity, in that playfulness, and actually be able to engage with her during rather than just being focused on the destination. Yeah, I do momentarily feel reconnected to that and connected to her. And I've had my intentions for this trip have shifted a lot since the seed idea for the trip, and then booking the trip, and then just after I booked the trip, and then actually getting here, you know. So I had all these things in my head that I wanted to do, and, you know, places I wanted to go, and, you know, connections I wanted to make. But yeah, since getting here, we've been here, I think this is day 4. Today is Friday. Day 5. We arrived on Monday. Today is Friday. Day 5 of 11. I have decided just to focus on getting back into flow with her, and that is also letting go of all of these ideals of places that I wanted to visit. And just staying within our locale, really, which maybe to some people listening to that might seem like a waste of a trip, but I really think that's what we need to do. That's what feels right for us. We need a reset. We've got into some unhealthy habits, you know, for example, screen time. We've been having a lot of screen time because I've just been using it as a crutch, because that's the most effective way, just to, when she's awake, to be able to do anything. And yeah, it's helpful, and I try and put on educational stuff when possible, but it's too much screen time. She's got so many other things that she could be doing, you know, so many toys and books and whatnot, but she just wants to watch TV. So intentionally haven't brought my laptop, and I'm not putting the TV on, so I'm utilising all my capacity to break those habits. Is she awake? utilising all my capacity to break those habits and get back into flow with her. So we're only really going as far as the beach, which is like, well, it's a 10-minute walk away, but going at her pace, it takes about an hour, going up to the village, getting ice cream and, giving her time to just explore on the way and when we're there. Because, the biggest temper tantrums have come and the highest levels of stress have come when I'm, pushing to be somewhere. She's awake. Part 2 incoming.